Knowing which green flags to look out for can literally save you years of your life from dating or marrying the wrong girl. And especially if you don't know what to look for, there are so many things that can go wrong. This is why it's so crucial for you to have a standard of what kind of traits and what kind of characteristics that you need to look out for in a good woman. We only want wifey material out here, fellas. So if you want to make sure that you don't end up as another data point in the latest divorce statistics, and you want to make sure that you end up with the right girl, I highly suggest that you pay attention and watch this video all the way till the end. Green flag number one is that she has a good relationship with her father. And the reason for this is the first intimate relationship that she's had with another man. And if it's a bad one, it's going to negatively affect every single relationship that she has with men in the future. If growing up her dad was abusive, then she's going to expect you to abuse her as well. This is why you need to find a woman who had a good dad growing up. A dad who cared for her, protected her, instilled good Christian values into her, because that way she's going to have a good foundation and she's going to expect the exact same love, care, and affection from you. Honestly, this is one of the easier green flags to identify, because whenever you ask her, hey, how are things for you growing up? Like, how was your relationship with your dad? Was he at your ballerina recitals growing up or whatever? If she had a good dad, she's going to say,
yes, I love my dad. I spent so much time with him growing up. I love him so much, and I want to spend as much time with him as I possibly can.
And if she tells you the opposite of that, then you need to run. Green flag number two is she's had little to no sexual partners. There's a study from the Institute of Family Services that I'm going to throw up on the screen. And this study was from the 1980s to the early 2000s. And it was studying the likelihood that a woman would get divorced depending on how many partners she slept with before she got married. The graph starts at 0 partners. And all three of the lines represent different periods of time. But as you can tell from the left side of this graph, those percentages are the likelihood that a woman would get divorced. And the more partners that she has, the higher that line seems to go. So obviously, whenever you start at 0, that's the lowest likelihood that she's going to get divorced. So if she's a virgin, you're in the clear. As the chart goes, and as the partners increase, the likelihood that a woman would get divorced also increases. And those statistics are pretty shocking. Like, if you look at that graph, a woman born in the 2000s who has a body count of 10 or more, almost a 35% likelihood that she's going to get divorced, as opposed to a woman with 0 partners who only has about a 5% chance of getting divorced. And you can search up studies like this all over the internet. The facts are the facts. The less men that a woman has slept with in her past, the less likely she is to get married and to get divorced. And it's that simple. And I can safely assume that anybody watching this video, if they're getting ready to get into a relationship and basically put their heart, soul, and everything they have into a relationship, I don't think you want to play Russian roulette with a 35% chance that your woman is going to leave you. Now, I know this video is getting juicy, but for those of you who don't know me already, my name is Braden. I help Christian men to transform their lives through faith-based self-improvement. If you want to join our brotherhood and get on the right track to becoming the man that God has created you to be, do me a favor, scroll down and click on that subscribe button, and I promise you, it's going to be a win-win for the both of us. Green flag number 3 is you want her to be feminine or wifey material. An ideal relationship has something called polarity within it. And what that means is you want to have a masculine man and a feminine woman. And I promise you that anything other than a masculine man and a feminine woman within a relationship is not going to work. Like I said earlier, we want a wife. We want a woman that is submissive, that wants to come in and support our mission, support our purpose, support us as a man. They want to have a family. They want to be motherly and take care of the kids. And that woman knows that the only thing that's truly going to fulfill her in her life is raising a family. If you're a masculine man of God, the last thing that you want is another masculine, career-focused woman that's going to come in and lay down the law and tell you what to do. A masculine woman will naturally polarize the man to becoming more feminine, where he's going to be more emotional, more submissive to her authority, more wanting her to make all the decisions and lead the relationship. And both parties are going to be upset if that's the dynamic of the relationship. And even if there's some feminist watching this video who's not going to agree with me, I don't care. They're not living in reality. As a masculine man of God, you want a feminine woman whose main goal in life is to come in and raise a family of her own. That's it. The fourth green flag is you want a woman who's going to make your life better and not worse. And this should be evident, but for some reason there are guys out there who are dating women or married to women who make their life worse. And I have absolutely no explanation for that. In Proverbs chapter 31, verses 11 and 12, it says this: "The heart of her husband trusts in her, and he will have no lack of gain. She does him good and not harm all the days of her life." As men on purpose, we want a helpmate. We want a woman who's going to come into our life and make our life better, make our life easier, make everything that we do in our career, in our business, in our fitness, in our life simpler. You don't want a woman to come in and start causing problems and bringing drama into your life and arguing with you and fighting with you and pulling your attention off of the things that God has sent you here to do. You want a woman who's going to bring out the best in you, someone who's going to encourage you to chase after your dreams, and someone who's always there in your corner cheering you on. I want you to imagine that there was a football game being played, and on one side of the stadium, it's fully packed out, right? The fans are packing the stands. There's just standing room only. There's people everywhere, right? Supporting the home team. And on the other side of the stadium, the away side, there's like one person there, or there's nobody in the stands. Out of those two teams that are playing, the one who has the supporting crowd, who's packed out, and the team who has absolutely nobody cheering them on, which of those two teams do you think are going to perform better? Obviously, the team with all the fans and all the home field advantage is going to perform better. And in the same way, you're going to perform better in your own life if you have a godly, feminine, supportive woman cheering you on as well. Now, the fifth and by far most important green flag that you need to look out for is you want to find a woman who prioritizes her relationship with God over her relationship with you. You want to date a woman who you can tell God is the number one priority in her life, and it's evident in everything that she does. What you don't want is a woman who claims to be a Christian, who claims to have God number one, who's got the Bible verses in her Instagram bio, and she goes to church every single Sunday, but at the same time, she lives like a devil Monday through Saturday. You want a girl who's truly born again, a girl who's sold out for God, who loves Jesus more than she loves you and honors him by the way that she lives. Really think about this. If you decide to date a girl who is 100% sold out for Jesus, you're not going to have to worry about a thing. You're not going to have to worry about her going and texting some dude on the side, or going and getting drunk at the bar and you having to take care of her, or her cussing you out or fighting with you or cheating on you. She's going to fear God, and she's going to be obedient to his word. She's going to honor the Lord in everything that she thinks, says, and does. And she's going to be submitted to his authority, and therefore she's going to be able to submit to your authority once you're married. What I just laid out for you is how every single healthy biblical relationship should be. And that is exactly what you need to be looking for. And realize that if you find a girl who checks off all 5 of these green flags, you better put a ring on her finger, because I promise you, she's not going to be single for long. If you want to learn about 10 different types of women that you should never date, I want you to go ahead and click on this video. I hope that you learned something today. I hope it helps you in your dating life. I hope that God blesses you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.